So yeah, Superbuilders fuck, powered by Javelin, the world's first superbuilder. So the first point I wanted to make today is lazy shared sequencers are too lazy. They only provide atomic inclusion, which essentially means that both rollups will see both transactions, which kind of sucks if you're actually trying to use this stuff. And we know this because we actually built a lazy shared sequencer, and the user experience is kind of crappy if you just have a shared sequencer. Because a shared sequencer by itself doesn't provide any guarantees on whether or not your transactions are going to land on chain and actually execute. And for users, the only user of a lazy shared sequencer for cross-rollup transactions is going to be MEV searcher bots, because your mom can't use it. And the reason why is because when you make a cross-rollup bundle that are submitted to a shared sequencer, so in this case, let's say I'm using just a mint and burn. I have a mint on rollup 2 and a burn on rollup 1. So I'm burning 1 ETH on rollup 1 and I'm minting 1 ETH on rollup 2. And I submit these transactions both to a shared sequencer. But what happens in the case of failure? Users' funds just get stuck. So you burnt your funds on chain 1, and guess what? That mint never went through on chain 2. Your funds just get stuck there, and that really is a crappy experience. A searcher can price risk off-chain, your mother can't. Friends don't let friends suffer from a lack of atomic atomicity. Choose atomic execution today. I want you to use atomic bundles. So with that, why is this the case? The reason why a shared sequencer by itself does not provide any guarantees around atomicity of transactions is to get atomicity guarantees, you need to have something that actually keeps track of state and runs full nodes for all of the different rollups involved. And the reason why you can't do that with just a shared sequencer is you can. It's called shared validity sequencing. But the fundamental issue, as SpongeBob can show you right here, is scalability. You cannot scale a system if every single participant needs to run 30 different chains. If you have, let's say you have 60 nodes and every single person's running 30 different nodes for 30 different chains, you're not going to be able to scale. The validator cost will be too high and it won't be usable. So how do we achieve the true atomic synchronous composability that we're all promised by the Ethereum Foundation? Superbuilders. So how does a superbuilder actually help us? So the superbuilder is able to create 3 different things. So they help on atomic bundles, division of concerns, and atomic execution. So atomic bundles mean that you can create dependencies across different chains. So either both transactions happen or both don't. So what this means is in our prior example, instead of that burn transaction happening and the mint transaction never happening, you would know that both transactions will either both happen or both fail. So you could have instant bridging and instant communication without the risks of, oh, one chain went down or your funds end up stuck between chains. They also allow you to have a division of concerns. So by allowing specialized entities to run every full node, in this case, the superbuilders, you allow for those entities to become slightly more centralized. So you may have anywhere from 4 to 7 builders if you look at Ethereum's block building landscape today. But you are also able to scale up the shared sequencer itself to much higher node count, providing better guarantees around censorship resistance. You are also able to do atomic execution. And the reason how that links into atomic bundles is to perform atomic execution, you need to know the state of n, which the state of n is the state of all these different chains at block n. You need to know that to be able to provide any guarantees around n+1. So if I don't know what transactions are happening in the last block, I cannot give you atomic guarantees for the next block because I don't know if that transaction is just going to fail because something was updated or something was missing. You have no guarantees around that with traditional shared sequencing. A superbuilder is able to guarantee you stuff around execution because they know the state of all these different chains. So I wanted to address the elephant in the room. Does this mean that we all just need to run on the same shared sequencer and the same superbuilder? Actually, no. So if you have a network of superbuilders that is shared across multiple chains, whether it's L2s or L1s or something in between, you can provide guarantees that people traditionally thought a shared sequencer was going to bring you. So you are able to provide atomic synchronous composability, and superbuilders in this case still need to be able to buy block space in some way, shape, or form. So you need to be able to guarantee inclusion of transactions for the superbuilder to offer execution guarantees. But we all don't have to live on the same shared sequencer and all sing kumbaya, which is quite a big benefit because coordination is one of the major issues for all of these different things. If all this cool tech can't work just because we can't coordinate, it ends up with a really crappy experience. So I declare that sequencer summer should be Superbuilder summer. And how does this help chain abstraction? So first of all, cross-chain atomicity goes hard. Any list of actions that you think you can perform on an L1, so you could deposit in a lending protocol, take that money, swap it in Uniswap, and then go and take the ETH you swap for and put it in EigenLayer, for example. All of that can happen within a single bundle via Superbuilder, and that can also happen in less time than it would take you to perform these actions on the Ethereum L1. So you get the cross-chain atomicity. You also get better capital efficiency. One of the main issues right now with solvers is solvers have to hold liquidity across all these different chains. And if you think that there's going to be a landscape where we're actually going to have many chains, expecting solvers to have to hold liquidity or fill pools on every single chain is fundamentally impossible. Personally, I believe there's around 200 chains this year alone launching, and this is in a market where we're just starting to roll up as a service fleshed out. A lot of these solutions are not automated. They're not very good right now. And that's in the crappy time is we're getting over 200 chains launching. When this stuff actually gets good, I believe there'll be many, many more times chains than that. And the only way to facilitate that is to allow for faster settlement of intents via solutions like this, so you can instantly pay out solvers for intents and bring back liquidity within a single bundle. And you can use solutions like the AgLayer to allow for mint and burn across chains. AgLayer is Polygon's shared bridge. So with this, you get better capital efficiency, more chains, more trading, and more opportunities for users, which at the end of the day, if we're not trying to build for an ecosystem that allows people to do more things, not less, I think we're really missing the point. And finally, Web 2, atomic transactions are super common in Web 2. Most things don't run on one database. And in Web 3, they've been almost impossible to come across because of the coordination problem is so high. So by allowing atomic transactions for the first time, I think we really open up a lot of the design space around this. So here's a demo, because I do think product does beat paper a lot of the times for this. So there we go. So in this demo, you're going to see Javelin, which is our superbuilder that enables synchronous atomic execution across chains. So the user only has to create a transaction on chain 1 before the builder pairs up a transaction on chain 2. This allows for single block communication across chains and single block bridging, and allows for a much better user experience. So first transaction lands, second transaction lands on chain 2. If you blink, you'll miss it. But I do believe, here, let's see if I can X out. There we go. So yeah, that's the demo of it. And then where do we go from here? So in the future, we believe Javelin really becomes this network where people can build out anything where they want it to have it be cross-chain and atomic. Whereas today you'd build on Reth execution extensions if you want to build things that are a sidecar to Reth. In the future, we believe you build on top of Javelin, you can build solutions that tap into multiple networks. And some of the solutions for this that we've kind of theorized around is super solvers, so solvers that leverage atomicity. Yield aggregation, you can also do coincidence of once protocols, pairing up two different transactions across different chains for better capital efficiency. Just-in-time oracles, we're working with a team on that right now where you can essentially pull in Oracle data from a different rollup within a single block to utilize it. And you can even slap an EVM or custom VM on top of Javelin, so you could build out more complex intents and better protocols on top of it for the future. So yeah, that's everything, and hope now you learn why Superbuilders are fucking awesome. Thanks.